Hi, I'm Lokesh Jha, and welcome back to the Node Part 2. In the previous video, we have built the HTTP servers totally from Node.js. No Express API was used. No, the Express framework was not used. So in this video, we will be covering that. We will be wrapping that. That we have seen that okay, that much of code is required if we are building without any framework to expose a server and to have routes, how we do that with the if else. So there was messy code and it was kind of too much work there. But you will think that okay, it's coding, then why too much work? When you will see Express how it wraps those kind of coding into a fully managed and clean way, so you will know that okay, why Express is used. And you will readily find Express looking for any Node.js or any front end or backend job, and it requires some full stack or backend, so it will mention that Express is required. So Express is very common, and it is very likely to be present in a job description. So yeah, this is a plus if you learn this. And by the end of today on this video, we will have a working API of Codes API, and with the proper routing, how we do in Express, how we do middleware in Express, ready for it will be ready for CRUD operations, and we will do the postman testing in third video. The next video we will do that. So here we have what we are going to cover is the Express basics and server setup. We will do the routes like that route we were doing by if else in the previous video, that we will do this. How you see here, this is the route that we were doing by if else. So you will see the better way how to do that. And we will have the middleware in order to check if some request is coming from front end to this server. The middleware be responsible to check first that okay, everything is nice, then it will allow to reach the controller. Then inside this all the process will happen and the response will go. So this middleware is responsible to have something like validation of okay, data is good, or if that path, like how in the front end we have seen that if someone is logged in, then only land to dashboard. Similarly here, if like there is our APIs which are protected, like okay, if these APIs are there, like dashboard APIs, which APIs are used for dashboard, if those are protected, so I need to check in middleware that okay, this user should be like having a validation key, which is access key, then only allow to the controller. So you will learn all those things. Just I'm giving an example. uh yeah, so then we have REST. We will be going through the REST conventions. Now the first section we will cover why Express, and from a raw HTTP what we did to a framework. And section 2 we will do the setting up of Express server, then routing, then middleware we will use, and REST convention, and we will build a mini project. So we will be seeing how these things are applied. So the first section we have why Express. So in first video we build a server with Node.js raw HTTP module, and we wrote manually if else and chain to check that request URL have this or not. Then we manually set the content. Here we see like we have here we have managed to handle these things also, that content type will be text HTML or text plain if you are sending something. So these all were manually, and we also used to call the response.send when we used to send the response. So all this was manual, and every single time we need to do that. And this that works, but it gets messy fast when the app grows. Like when you have currently we have only 3 parts, so when it will grow, it will get messy. Like how we have seen in React also, that just using JavaScript it's kind of messy, but when we use React, it kind of very nice and managed way of writing code. And when the code grows also, you will have very easy way around to manage those things and revisit things. So same way here we are using Express, and that yeah, Express is lightweight and unopinionated web framework built on top of the same HTTP module. It gives us clean routing method, a middleware pipeline, and methods like response.json, response.send. You will see like it removes almost all the boilerplates while still running on the exact same Node.js foundation. You already understand now in the previous video you have seen that okay how these things work. So now you have done the coding. Now Express comes and it says okay I will take the load. He just wraps it out and you just write one line, and in the backend Express lets the Node.js know that okay the user wants to do this, the developer wants to do this. So, and it creates the same thing in the backend. So you are writing less code, and in the backend same thing is happening. So if we go here inside this Node basic server, cd node part 1, and here I will go for Node server npm ls express. Here it says that this is empty because we do not have express module here. But now if I create here a project and if it shows that okay express is there, then we are using express. So it's like building routes from raw http, and if else is like assembling furniture with only a hammer and a hand. So it is completely possible, but it is slow. But like these days, if you go for the carpenter, they will have very electronic things like drilling machines and electric saws. Those the pins are also having the gun. So these things make it faster, and they can like do much more other works also. So same way we are going to use Express. So now let's go back into the part 2. Now
Here,
we will be doing the setup of Express server in our project. Let's go inside the project. We are inside part 2 right now. And here we need to make Express basics project. And we have created a folder here. You can see inside this, we will go mkdir, express basics. Now inside this folder we will do the setup. So first we will do npm init y. All the setup is done, package.json is created. Now we will do npm install express. Now it is installing express, and you have see in the package.json you will see express is there, and package log json keeps the kind of track record that which like you have installed, you are doing on this project, you want express and what other things express wants. So all those things will be there, kind of depend your dependencies of that dependencies will be tracked here. And in the node modules you will see all the packages that is installed right now. Okay, now we will install. Let's go up and we do save dev node one. So we are installing node 1, but only for dependency. This is for development time of dependency only. Now let's create server.ts, the first file we are going to work on. So if we are using Express, then we will import Express. Okay, let's close this. Now we have imported Express. Let's take app equals Express. So now we have imported it. Yes, am I missing something? It will be required. Yeah. So now these two lines, we have imported it. We have taken a kind of here variable. Then we call this as a function. And here we have app. So now this app is Express, which could be used easily. So I will show you first. Let's take a port, which we have seen that, okay, this port will be used in order to expose your APIs. So here we have taken 3000. It could be 4000, 3001, or anything, whichever you need, like you want to use. Commonly, 3000 and 4003s are used. App.get. So this is the part where, see, if I open this here, and you see these we have skipped and we have used Express. This is same, and now for this to create server, what we like for this we have done that. Okay, if the request parameter is this, so we are doing like app dot, so this app is coming from Express. We are writing app.get slash. For this slash we want to give request comma response. You just need to write response dot send, and here hello world. Mhm. If something is not used somehow, then yeah, that file was in TypeScript, that's why it was giving error. Now we have switched to JavaScript. So this line will be responsible to handle the slash ones, and here we will have app.listen, and here we will give port, comma, and which code was here. Like we can totally copy paste it, and yeah, the server is running. Okay, so what we have skipped, like we have skipped these, then how we used to write these, father done is okay, but how the HTTP create server was used, so these things are removed right now. This is the kind of fresh thing. And in the package.json we need to add two things. So this is the I've explained already. JavaScript is kind of blueprint of your project. Here you write some um, shortcut commands. Like when I run, okay, I will show you. I will put server.js here and dev for normal server.js. So the difference is now I will not be running like this node server.js express basics. Yeah, correct. So I will not be running. This is not saved. If I now run, then it is running. Okay. So there is a standard practice that whenever someone comes to a node project, I will do npm run dev, this thing. So we put npm run dev. So for this dev, we put what command needs to be running in the background, that is running here. So that's why if it is kind of currently two words only, but later it can be big, that okay, I want to do this setup before that, like I want to do npm run build and then this. So there could be more setup, that what I need to do when I do start. Now you are thinking why we have node and node mod. So if you see start, it is started here. I will save this. Now let's suppose I changed something and saved. So here, so the first thing is like if you do any change, it will take that time only. The other thing is if you crash it, it will restart when you are fixed with the error. Something like this is kind of wrong. I don't know why. Oh, uh, okay. In the dev, this works. Okay. Now here, if I do dot save, it is fixed. Now this is running. If I do something space, then again error, this is there. Without error also, it restarts. So for the dev part, node one, whenever there is something, any change or something, it listens to your changes and it restarts itself, so that you do not need to come and again restart. But in start, what happens, it starts that code where it was like ran that time. After you do any change, again you have to come here, and if you do some errors, save. So then again you have to come and start again. See, then giving error. Again you have to start. So that's why this is used in production for the starting, but actually it is also not used some way. We use PM2 or Node 1. So I will explain you later that okay, even if there is some crash in server, it should start. So what happens, like there might be some piece of code which is wrong. Because of that, we will not be crashed always. We will restart and we will serve the like server purposes. You will know later. So now we have created this server and package.json is updated. We have started this server. If I go here, so here we have hello world. Okay. So you see this app.listen. So app.listen is like you are opening a shop's front door at a specific address. Like this is the address. That is the port, and the server exists in that port of your where you have explained. And then anyone who wants to go in that shop that needs to go to that order address. So if you are like having a correct address, then you will land there and you will have your uh, clothing and shoppings. Now we will go for the section 3, routing, that is route params and query params. How we used in the front end that we want to send the route params and query params. So similarly in REST API is needed for the dynamic routes. Like if there is something like a page needs to be loading for the ID 1 2 3, then the front end will send that okay, I need user ID for one, the details, user details for one. So it will handle that and send the data. Then again for two, so it is the ID of that user is dynamic, so I need to handle that. So things like get the user with specific ID comes under that. Express handles this with a route params written with a colon like this, slash user then slash colon ID. So where we see colon, it means that okay, this is dynamic, and if the user is sending something here, then it will be considered as okay, ID equals to this. That it is kind of easy to handle. We will see how that is happening. I think we have seen this in JavaScript or somewhere. Yeah, we have seen this in React while using that. So whatever value actually appears in the that position in the URL gets captured as the request.params.id separately. So this is the params, and similarly you will see this like search equals locase. So this is query params, how you provide a variable and provide a value. Again, you want another one, then here you can do space something like and then another will come here, you can put the other value. So these two ways we can pass data in the URL. So in the code we will see app.get dot slash, let's say user detail slash ID, and we can put the request comma response. So here we have this, we can do constant ID equals request dot params dot ID. So this way we can have that, and if you want we can console this ID comma ID and response dot send back tick. The user ID you gave is dollar ID. Now I will go here, put user details slash two. So it is giving error because it was in start. So just you saw the thing. If it was in dev, then it would have recognized it. Now the user ID you gave is 2, and here in the console ID 2 comes. So this is how we handle this. If you wanted search equals, let's suppose locase, then constant search param equals request dot query dot search. Mhm. Here you do not need to pass anything. We will have this. If something goes wrong, we will pass empty. Like no search param. We don't do this. This is for just the example to show this. And now the server is started. Here I will refresh again. It says there is error in the search is not defined. If I do this, okay, here, okay. This search param saved. Yeah. Now if I refresh this, no search param. But what if I add a search param like search equals case, and then we will have the captured like the value is here. So this is the two ways we use, like this ID was the param and this is the query. So we will like, suppose here we know that okay this ID will be there, but we want to be flexible that okay we are kind of filtering or sorting. So there you can use this query params and order methods in experience routing. Like if you have multiple things, like for here username, then it should be passed in that way only. Otherwise, it will be wrong. So the order methods. Okay. Now we are in section 4, that is middleware, app.use, next, express.json. So in Express, middleware is the single most important concept that you actually need to understand, not just memorize, but you need to understand this actually. So our middleware follows sites between the incoming request and your final route handler. This is kind of firewall in between with the signature of request response next. So you have seen request response and what is next now. So okay, here we have request which is sent from user or client, you can say. Then on the processing, whatever data we got, we will send. So that is response. But since it is front end, it is backend, and there is a layer, and this is the space where we are calling this. So this is middleware. So here the request will be checked that okay request dot do the checking everything. Then if all the things are okay, I will do next call. So this line tells that okay middleware is okay. You can go forward now for the controller and do the checks or business logic or while with the database call or needs to be done. So after this, you will be like allowed. The request will be allowed to get inside the backend core logics. So this was next. So Express ships with the built-in middleware we need constantly. So Express have inbuilt kind of middleware which converts, like which is express.json, and it converts whatever data coming from the front end into JSON format. Otherwise, we had to import another library earlier, body parser, and used to do the body parsing of before anything. So here in the code, we would first write, okay, whatever data is coming, just parse it into JSON. Otherwise, I will not be able to see that. So like not read better. So that's why we will write here app.json and app.use equals to express.json. So this line solves that problem. Earlier we used to import another library which is body parser and use that here. Now Express included that, so it is kind of easy for us. So this is the kind of middleware that we have. Now if you want have a custom middleware, so we can, like currently we can write here, but later we will do a folder, then inside that we will create a middleware. There we will write all the logics what we like understood right now. So here you can write something like function request logger, and inside this you will have request, response, and next. And here the function, so it will go without this. Okay, now we have console.log. We're just logging the request, nothing more. Date, it will give the current date and time right now, and convert into to ISO string. So this is the current time, and we will use request dot method, then request dot URL. We will use request dot URL, and below this we will do next. So it will allow to go further. So let's we have now this middleware. So whenever I will do a request, let's refresh this. So first, that is not getting printed. Okay. Oh yeah, we forgot to use this actually. Here it needs to be present. Now if I do a refresh, so yeah, the time, here we have time, method is get, then user details will come. So we have printed the time here. This is the method. If you see what is method and you come in, okay, how did I open this? You right click, inspect, and come to network tabs, do the refresh again. Oh, this is itself a backend, that's why. Otherwise, if you call anything from front end, you will see in the network tab. So this is a get request. As you see here, app.get, app.get. If you do app.post, then it is a post request. So that is a method of that API call, which we have just saw that, okay, this is get, and this is the URL of what we are calling. So that is printed. Okay, there was a middleware. We can do more checks and all. So now you might be like somehow asked that what is middleware in Express, and why does it call next? So now you have answer of that. Like middleware are functions with the signature request, response, next, that execute during the request response cycle, and they can read or modify request response or perform side effects like logging or authenticating users, like checking the authentication it is there or not. And later, if it founds all well, calling next passes the control to the next middleware if there is any next middleware. So we can add multiple middleware also. Here we can add another middleware, and then after all middleware checking, it will go to the controller. So without calling it, the request kinds of hangs and no response comes. Okay, now we have REST convection and status code. So before we build a mini project, and let's agree on convection first. So REST creates URL as noun representation resources like quotes slash quotes, and let the HTTP method express the action. So if the method is get, then it defines that, okay, this API call will get some request. If that is post, so this API request will create something. So at the time of sign up, you will see you are passing data, and that is registered in your database. That is post call. And put and patch for update, if you are doing something like forget password, or like you want to update your name. So these are put and patch. Delete, in order to delete your account, you use delete. Or you are doing to do app and you want to delete that to do, that is delete. So these are the commonly used HTTP methods, and the verb belongs in the HTTP method and never in the URL itself. So URL is the noun, and the method is the verb. So status code communicates the outcome. If that is all okay, everything response came as a okay, so 200 will come. If there is something which is accepted, I will tell you later, like you have put a request there, so it will come 201. If you have something like 400, means the client made a mistake, bad request, or not found. If 500, not 500 particularly, like 500 series comes, then it means something broke on the server, not your fault, ours, like that. So here we have some examples like the REST style resource naming. Here we have good ones that okay, we are using get like this and list all codes, get codes with the ID. If you are having a post creation thing, then it is post is used if you are updating or deleting. But say if you have get all codes, so you have written get, and here we have create new codes. So this is post. So this naming convention is not that good. Here it defines that okay, quotes is there and this is post is there and this is get. So it is kind of standard and the type is kind of changing. So this, that's why it's called noun, and this is called verb. So we do not write everything in the URL. And sending the status code, here app.get state codes, we have ID. Here we are like sending response.status 404 codes not found, and if port is found, then we are sending 200 because this is okay, positive, green, you can say, and this is 404 red, something bad happened, so that's why. So these codes are correct. Okay, so it's kind of good practice to do. Now we are going for a mini project, a small express codes API. Let's combine everything, routing, route mapping, middleware, REST, styles, status codes, and everything in a small API project. And we were keeping it simple on purpose. Full grid operation we with put and delete also, plus real postman setting, and postman setting will be in the video 3. Today we'll do the get and post, and yeah, let's start it. So we will take one step back, and here we will do mkdir make a directory with the name of quotes API, and here we will do cd quotes API, then npm init y, all the setup is there, npm I or install, you can write express, then npm I save dev nodemon. So you have installed that also. Now we will go inside quotes API. Here I will create a server.js. I will do express equals require express constant app equals express. So this is done. Now we will do a port. Why we are writing in capitals? Because it is a kind of constant, so we write in capital. And yeah, these things are done. So we need to do app.use express.json. These are the boilerplates that we write. And function, let's take it from here. Why to write again? So this is there. And app.use, we will just write at the top only, that always use it, request logger. Okay. So now we do not need to mention in that. So let quotes equals, yeah, now we have the quotes. We will do get quotes list all. I hope you are getting everything all good here till here. If you have anything, please comment below. And app.get, because app.get, what is the method of that request? What is the path? It is slash. Inside this we will do request comma response, not next. Yeah, and here you need to fetch all, so you can just response dot send quotes, like you can do this. Like you are expecting better that status, let's say 200 dot quote, not dot quotes, dot json dot quotes. So this will send with 200 request. Okay, now we will do Now one is done. Then we have get slash port slash ID. If you want to get like a specific port by the ID, so get one port by ID. You can use the same one, and here it will be this thing, and here we need to constant port equals, like here you need to search for this. So first you will do like whatever ports you have, find only q dot id is equals to, okay, we have not taken the id. Anyhow, we can do that. Id equals, these things we have already seen, that's why I'm just typing, so you should understand, I think. So here we are doing the id, so it will be coming from request dot uh, params dot id. Why? Because it is in the params. Now we have id, we need to just check that if here does it matches to it id or not. If I make it more clear that okay, what we are doing in the codes, find each codes I am checking, if this id matches, no, if this id matches, no, if this matches id, if yes, then yeah, return this. Otherwise, if you have none, what happens then? If quote dot, or like if quote is if quote is not there, then the response dot status will be what, 404, because we didn't find any. And dot like json, we can pass a message, uh, no, uh, like we can right now do not found. So this, or we can do error and put quote not found, and this returns also. Otherwise it will go further also. That's why we need to add a return, otherwise it will go further. Then again try to send it again. If you forget this thing, you will have an error that response could be modified only once, because you have already sent the response, so now you can't modify it. So yeah, and also we forgot to add here number, as everything will come in a string only. We need to parse it into number. So right now it's number and we have checked it. Now we will go for the adding. So we will do post. Here also it will be quotes and create one. So here we will be like adding a new. So let's do app dot post string slash, yeah, we forgot this thing here and here. Then we will pass the request comma response array bracket. Here we will write we need to create, yeah, so where we will get the text, it will be coming from, if the method is post, then we will coming from, like the data will be coming from body dot body. Like the body we will destructuring, we have seen, we will take the text from this. In case you forgot to add text, then we need to send something like this, that 404 or 400, which is not found, yeah, error, uh, text not found, or text field required, we can say. field is required. Then we will do constant new post, new quote equals id quotes dot length comma text. We have that only these two things. Yes, text. Then we will put quotes dot push new quote. We have added that. So I will tell the user that okay, your work is accepted. Now request dot status 201 dot JSON. Here I will use message uh, quotes added. Yeah, yeah, I forgot to add the curly braces. New quote added, and we will send the new quotes also in order to have the ID and all. And yeah, this was the thing. We can copy this app.listen from here to here because it is kind of same. And now if I go to Query API npm run dev, what happened? Okay, yeah, I forgot to add here. So let's copy the package JSON from here. Things are same. Now this also proves that okay, we are not learning something very hard thing. Factor document here. Now if I run, it runs. Okay, if I go here and quotes, so it will give me the quotes. Okay, we will test like in the Postman also later in the video. In this video, we have seen that okay, we can make APIs. See how we have created three APIs here. Three APIs and how we have used get, post, and we can pass the params also. Later on, we will look for delete and put and patch. To update, okay, I want to update the message. The code never lies. Comments something. Uh, comments sometimes too. Yeah. So we will be updating this message. So how we can do that? So those things we will be checking. Yeah, I will post the these codes on GitHub. Just go through this. If you need any help, comment below. And yeah, see you in the third video. Bye bye.